A very quick video from me. It's a follow-up on the Facebook Live that I did, where I said racism doesn't exist. Oops, I'm all tangled up here. One moment. Right, so just to let you know what I'm doing, it's now, I think it's coming up to 10 o'clock, and I'm just going to buy a loaf of bread for my sister. And I actually popped into the supermarket today on my way back from the shop. My sewing machine's broken down, my faithful friend. So I took it to be repaired. So on the way back, I thought, right, let me just pick up what I need to pick up. And I went into Tesco and there was a big queue. I don't do queuing. So I did a U-turn. So now I'm going to get that loaf of bread. Right, so anyway, yeah, so it's just to follow up on what I said regards racism not existing. And of course, people challenge me about this. Now, I'm trying to find a way of doing this. I'm going to tell a quick story, actually. I say to people from time to time that I have discernment, and, you know, I emphasize the importance of having discernment. And with that, it means that you know how to control situations. So I will tell a story. It was from, I don't remember. It could have been at the London World Championships. Could have been. Or perhaps the Olympic Games, Rio, or it's one of those. And I have a friend, a Facebook friend. He's white, and people would call him a racist because much of what he posts at the time, it was against Muslims and so on. And so when Mo Farah won his gold medals, he went on a rant. He posted and he was saying he can F off back to Mogadishu. We don't need his gold medal. You know, that type of talk. So what I did was, I went, and this has happened so many times. So what I'll do is I'll post something specifically for one person, and they will come and comment. Even if they don't comment on that particular post, they will come and comment on a different one. So their presence, it's almost like they will be drawn to the post. No, I'm not a witch. So what I did was, I think it's chapter 4. There's a passage in the book where I talk about the differences between race, about the differences between race, skin color, and nationality, etc. And talk about the different flowers. Roses come in all colors, but we don't, because, say, for example, our favorite rose is maybe pink or red, whichever color we prefer. It doesn't mean to say we hate the others. So it's just saying that in life there's color scheme. The earth was created with, and it's got different species, even animals. You've got dogs of different breeds, etc. But they're all dogs. Just because we like one type of dog doesn't mean we hate the others, and so forth. So I copied and pasted the passage where it talks about the differences between race and skin and so on. And lo and behold, the same guy who was ranting about Mo Farah, he came on the post. I'm going to go and see if I can find it, and I'll put it in the link, actually. I mean, in the description, if I can find it. So, and like, we're best buddies. When I say best buddies, you know what I mean. We get on fantastic. But he's calmed down. So what I would say is that we have it within us to change people's minds. I'm not the type of person who will go campaigning I deal with individuals. As I come across an individual, it's a bit like... So I'm trying to cross the road without getting killed. Right, so whereas I don't do the campaigning thing about Black Lives Matter and all this nonsense, I would deal with individuals, because in our life we get to meet people, we get moments with people, etc. And so we have the power to make people think differently. So for example, my Facebook page, I post to make people think, not to tell people what to think. And as well, going back some years, this was when I used to go to church, and I was given a talk. This is going back almost 20 years now. I was given a talk to do because the leaders felt I wasn't strengthening my brothers and sisters the Lord's way. In other words, I'm a bit I'm more the cruel to be kind type. I don't suffer fools. And so what I did the talk, but I changed the title to Loving Our Brothers and Sisters the Lord's Way. So in other words, when we love people, we don't put up with their nonsense. We try to correct them. That's what you do with your children. So, I gave my talk, and in that I coined a phrase, and I said, only a fool would think to teach a man lying asleep. A wise man would think first to wake him and then to teach him. So I'm going to keep this really short. So it's just two things I'm going to say. First thing, if you want to disable a racist, and I say racist as commonly known what a racist is, and that's not just, I'm not talking about white people, I'm talking about anybody who places value in their skin. If you want to disable them, you tell them racism doesn't exist. Because if the only thing they've got going for them is their skin, what are they going to do if you dispossess them of that? If you've said to them, I don't believe in racism, what can they do to you? Right, so you completely disable them then. The second thing I will say, it doesn't matter how much money a person has, how big the house is, how flash the car is, how educated, whatever. When if a person doesn't value themselves for who they are, you will find that they tend to focus on the externals, whether it be their looks. If you could see what I'm dressed like at the moment, you think, oh my gosh, that's a homeless person. But you see, I don't need to go out looking good. If you go on my Instagram page, you can see me dressed up, and you can see what I look like when I'm dressed up. I don't need to, because when I go out, I'm going out to impress anybody. I'm just going out to do what I need to do. So for me, it doesn't matter how I look. But right, so basically, people who seek after material things with a purpose of being somebody, the more they have. So for example, when during lockdown, there were some celebrities making headlines who wanted the government to pay their staff furlough, and these are like multimillionaires and even billionaires, one of whom wanted the government to bail out his airline. And it exposed people. And what I was saying, because there were people who couldn't understand it, and I said, why do you think these people chase it and they will sell their soul for it? That is what makes them important. It's what it's how they value themselves. So you got multi-billionaires, trillionaires. All of these people, they get their value from the things they have. I was speaking to one of my friends earlier, and I said to him, I've been out and shops are open and it's like dystopia, people wearing masks as the new norm, and queuing up as the new norm. And I've never done queuing, because that's why I'm picking up the loaf of bread now, because I actually passed the supermarket this morning on the way back from dropping off my sewing machine, and I went in and there was a queue, and I did a U-turn, and I said to the security guard, I'll come back tonight, which is why you see a lot of my videos are filmed at night, because I can guarantee I'm going to go in and I won't need to queue. I can pick up what I want, pay for it, and I'm out. Right, because for me, time is a very precious resource. So, and while I'm saying that, just to chuck this in there, skin is like wrapping paper. Right, so again, this is how you disable a racist. You tell them that skin is just wrapping paper. So if they want to value themselves by virtue of the wrapping, then that's their problem, right? And that way you completely cut them off. Right, so basically what I was saying, I was talking to my friend, and he said to me, oh, you'll soon be wearing the mask. And I said, I won't. I said, if I say I'm never going to do something, then I'm never going to do it. Right? I'm just not going to do it. And I went on to say that the people, the powers that be, the ones who are telling us what we can and can't do, they're actually having a field day now, because they've got power, and they can see how people are grateful just to be able to go outside and sit outside a pub and have a pint, or to go and queue up outside the shop and eventually get in the shop so they can pick up whatever items it is they want. And it's like I said, it's a bit like what they're doing is, it's like you've got a dog and you're getting it to perform, and you reward it with treats. That's exactly what they do. And I said, when I say you, because I mean I've not bought into this at all, not from the beginning, right? So I said to him, if people they're sort of screaming, wanting their freedom, if they weren't playing along, they would have had their freedom a long time ago, because it's all about power and control. And like I said, with the guy who's now my good friend, the one who was carrying on about Mo Farah, I won't go as far as to say he worships the ground that I walk on, but they see you as a completely different entity. When you've stripped someone of the power that they think they have, they look at you with different eyes. They don't, because they're trying to figure out what manner of creature are you. And I keep saying you, we, I, all of us, we can make a huge difference to the way the world around us is, if we know how to basically, if we know what the different value systems are, if we literally like I said, the more money a person has, it's the less esteem they've got. So somebody like me, I don't have much, but in my time, the little I have, if somebody needs, I share. Right, that's how I've always been. I could have been super rich by now if I had that kind of attitude, if everything that I value was tied up in the material, right? So but when you see these trillionaires hanging on to their money and going after more, that's all they've got. I believe it was Bob Marley. Bob Marley's reputed to have said, some people are so poor, all they have is their money. It's true. So when like I said, when you see, I'm not going to call names, but when you see these trillionaires and they just can't have enough, it's because they're empty, and they're trying to fill up using material things. And others, the poor ones, the ones who have nothing, all they've got is their skin. That's what they do. So they try to make themselves bigger than other people by leaning to their skin. If you study, if you think about it, you will see that I'm right. But I'm not here to sort of like prove my rightness or anything like that. But it is a fact. If you the ones who don't have the means to lord it over others, because even black people, you see this, where they get to a certain level, and especially in Africa, where you see some of these politicians, their offspring, they're super rich, and what they do, I've seen images of one where he's got an expensive watch and he's pouring an expensive bottle of champagne over it. And these are the type of empty people who are out there in the world that people are looking at and envying. And in real terms, you know, they should be pitied. But I think, you know, I've started doing these YouTube videos. And I said in one video that I really only started doing it because apart from putting up music and dancing and fun things that I like to do, that's what it was about. But a friend of mine said that he didn't always have time to read my long posts because he does an important job. When I say important, you know, if he listens to this video, he will laugh because he's like me. We don't take it too seriously. And actually, he's white South African. Hi, Ryan. Right. So it was his idea that I should do this. But if I do happen to think that I lost my train of thought slightly because somebody just walked past and kind of nodded at me. Right. So if we look at people and we see the things they do. Sort of, you know, like some super rich people are really depraved, allegedly. You see, it's because they're empty. They are empty and they're looking for something to fill that void. And if, you know, like I said, I'm all about making people think what I do. It's not like I take it upon myself because it's like I know better than everybody else, but we're in this world to make a difference. And my thing is that the amount of people, even people in esteemed positions who, you know, they've had conversation with me or something, and it's like they're intrigued. And this isn't me saying it, this is them saying it. It's like, there's something about you, what is it? Or they'll say you're the most interesting person I've ever spoken to. But it's what you leave with people. Like I said, if you see what I look like, you'd think I'm a homeless person. But it's no big deal. It's just I've come outside and my intention is to keep warm. It's not to come out here and look pretty or to make people tell me, oh, you're so beautiful or anything like that. But like I said, so for example, entertainment, show business and all these places, whereas, you know, people go seeking fame and fortune, few go to make a difference. Just look at the patterns. That's the root of racism, as it's called. People who've got nothing much going for them except, as they suppose, their skin or their heritage or whatever. And I think I should go and pick up the bread now and get back to my sister. So guys, I hope this kind of helps a little bit more so you know how to, if you're experiencing snobbery or racism or anything like that, as you know, people call it, like I've said in previous videos, that it's just stupidity and ignorance. That's what it is. And even if you want to slap down a racist, that's the quickest way. You just say to them, there's no such thing as racism, just stupidity and ignorance, because nobody wants to be stupid and ignorant, and that's the biggest slap in the face. So I shall say, see you guys later, and look after yourselves, and hope you're having a good night. Take care. Bye-bye.